Exploring the world from the saddle of a bicycle is the most amazing thing we know.
A bicycle gives us freedom, allows us to cover long distances.
Yet in close proximity to nature and most importantly people.
A nebudou tam jedovatý hadi?
Ale nebudeme spát blízko velkých řek.
A co tam budeme místa pít? Madagascar is the fourth largest island in the world.
Madagascar as a state is probably the poorest country in the world without a war.
It is not known exactly how many inhabitants Malagasy live in Madagascar. Probably somewhere between 30 and 35 millions. By the way, the inhabitants of Madagascar come from Southeast Asia and India. Only a smaller part of the west coast comes from Africa.
Madagascar is a mainly mountains island with two seasons, a dry season in winter and a rainy season in summer. You just have to remember that we are in the southern hemisphere, so it is the opposite of where we are in Europe.
Our bikes are packed in boxes, so we have to drive to the accommodation where we will assemble the bikes and hide the boxes, even if it's only a kilometer.
There are many helpers right at the airport. They expect a tip in return. We assemble the bikes before nightfall and set off for Antananarivo the next morning, from where we travel approximately 900 kilometers north in a local taxi bus.
So Madagascar, we are looking forward to see you. The journey to Tana, as the locals shorten the long name of the capital, left us in no doubt that poverty would be omnipresent.
There are no regular buses in Madagascar, but minibuses called taxi bus. In order to keep the ticket price as low as possible, the minibuses need to be filled with as many passengers as possible. So, In cars that in Europe can accommodate 9 people, there are 19 of us.
This also means that no luggage can fit inside, so everything has to go on the roof, including our bikes, of course.
The loading process takes more than 2 hours. The departure time is not fixed. People carry everything they need. They bring scaffolding, pipes, crops from the field, 2 spare tires, our bikes and bags, and at the very top a crowing rooster in a wicker basket.
The cars are in a desperate state. Our driver ends up behind the wheel after the first 20 minutes. Probably bad contacts in the ignition switch. He has to start every 5 minutes during the journey.
The other car has constant engine problems.
As the evening approaches, various vermin start to crawl out of the seats. That's probably part of driving with the locals.
The road is often full of potholes, so the driver tirelessly weaves his swinging car. Because his center of gravity has shifted unexpectedly high thanks to the load on the roof, and he either accelerates or brakes sharply. Not for the faint of heart. My mother and I live on Kinedrill.
In addition, one of our drivers, we have two, decided that he needed to run over a stray dog, so sometimes weaving is even more difficult.
The potholes are sometimes so deep that we have a road next to the windows.
What we see from the windows completely absorbs us. Africa, as you can imagine.
As our driver tells us, everyone here must have all their belongings with them for possible repairs and must be able to help themselves. There is no tow truck here.
In Madagascar, they don't have cows, but zebu, which fulfill the same role. They give the local Malagasy people milk, meat, and also help with field work and pulling carts.
Zebu is a sign of wealth. Anyone who has more than 50 zebu is very rich.
Sometimes among the unplanned stops there is also a planned one, which serves as a snack or do you want a toilet or water?
On the second day of the trip, it happened. The hill was too steep, so the other car couldn't go up it. But no one is nervous, no one is swearing. That can happen. After all, we are in Africa.
The first attempts are only being made without passengers. But if we want to continue, everyone has to get involved.
Malagasy people don't take any food with them. There are plenty of opportunities to stop and buy something along the way. Even Malagasy people know that they have to eat hot food to avoid digestive problems. Don't look for refrigerators or freezers here.
After 35 hours, at 10:30 at night, we arrive in Ambanza. We drive a few kilometers outside the city and set up our tent for the first time.
In the morning, we discover that we are on the edge of a cocoa grove.
We head to the port of Ankefe, from where we want to cross to the island of Nozibe.
We agree on a price of 60,000 ariaries, and in a moment we are sailing. Or rather, we are blowing in the direction of Nozibe.
The journey takes less than 2 hours. We sail around the island of Nozikomba, covered in tropical jungle. Nozibe is the largest adjacent island of Madagascar, but be also means big.
So this is a breadfruit tree. We haven't tried it, but the locals normally eat it. We still have a little piece of Czech salami here.
We head to the beach in Adelana, where we set up a tent. The waters of the Mozambique Channel here are beautifully clean and quite warm, even though it's winter.
We are only 13 degrees south latitude, so the equator is not far away.
The sea slopes gently, so at low tide it runs quite far from our tent.
In the morning we go to explore the mangroves. We have never seen them before.
Although at first glance they look like just a tangle of bushes growing in the water, mangroves are a treasure for our planet.
Mangroves are extremely resilient and can cope with really tough conditions. High salinity, constant changes in water level due to the tides, and oxygen-poor soils.
Mangroves are powerful carbon dioxide traps and stores. Although they make up less than 2% of the marine ecosystem, mangroves are responsible for processing 10 to 15% of carbon dioxide.
We are heading to Ambordrona and looking for a place to spend the night on the beach again.
The day in Madagascar is now about 11.5 hours long in winter and an hour longer in summer. The transition between day and night is very fast due to the proximity of the equator.
In the morning, we watch fishermen returning on pirogues, which they then head to the market with.
Nozibe is the most developed part of Madagascar, where they take more daring tourists and travel agencies.
However, apartment houses are built thanks to the work of locals, including children, in a quarry where they manually break stone into gravel with hammers, and then nearby they manually make formwork blocks.
Today we are heading to Lemur Park. Just move a little farther from the coast and the asphalt and brick houses immediately disappear.
Lemur Park is a small zoo, but it lacks a fence.
The lemurs are used to being fed by guides, so there are always plenty of them here.
But first we look at the turtles.
It's not heavy. You see, sir? The male has a kind of fur below the head, and the female has none. For this species, they can live for 3 years.
But then it was the turn of the lemurs. This one is a ring-tailed lemur, and in addition to the hand with the banana, it also likes to lick ears.
This species is my favorite. It's my favorite species.
Jak si vždycky chytne tu pak. Doufám, že mě nezačne tak.
Okay. Mikey. Oh, don't be scared. They are very nice.
Maxi, nic si neudělá.
Mana siya tinane?
Příjemnej.
Ayakuma. Oh, you can try, guy. You can try.
Pojď Maxi.
Maximilius, Gustav.
Maybe
Nic si neudělá.
your tour, sir. Your tour.
Jo, taky. Jo, taky. Já tě chci vyfotit.
The most famous lemur is the ring-tailed lemur. Like other lemurs, it is endemic to Madagascar. The ring-tailed lemur lives in groups of 6 to 25 individuals depending on the location and availability of food.
The black lemur stuck its butt out at us at first, but then we were able to get a good look at
The
it.
brown color.
This is
For
a
this
female
species, the female is the
ring-tailed
leader of
lemur.
the team. Yeah. She's the leader of the team.
Je lídr, je vedoucí celý smečky, tahle ta paninka. Jakože celých všech tady těch lemurů, co tady mají. Ne. Svojí smečku.
This species, they are a herbivore. We feed them the banana every day. In this cup. We feed them the banana.
Crocodiles also live in Madagascar, specifically the Nile crocodile. It is the largest predator in Madagascar, but we haven't seen it in the wild.
The last lemur we saw was a ruffed lemur.
This species
The oldest resident of the lemur park is a giant tortoise named Napoleon, who is 215 years old. Who knows if he blows out the candles on a birthday cake in one breath.
There are also many geckos and chameleons in the park.
From the lemur park, we head to the Lokobe National Park. We arranged to sleep at giraffes. A little boy who is so happy that someone from such a distance is sleeping at their home, or rather in the garden.
In the morning, we will go hunting with him, and then we will set off to the national park.
Lakobe is covered with rainforest where there are many lemurs, chameleons, snakes and any other animals.
Fortunately, there are no deadly poisons, snakes for humans in Madagascar. And the Madagascar boa constrictor hibernates in winter.
We wandered through the jungle for almost 5 hours without meeting anyone.
Twice we came out of the rainforest onto beautiful beaches as it cut out of a catalogue. We met quite a few different animals. even one snake, which Sebastian almost stepped on.
We sleep on the beach again at the town of Apasi. In the morning, we go to a place we already know to buy baguettes.
At the local market, they had the best baguettes we have ever seen in Madagascar. Baguettes are one of the things that remained from the time when Madagascar was a French colony, i.e. from 1896 to 1960.
Then we head to the port and sail back to the island of Madagascar.
From the port town of Ankefe, we head north along the main road.
Madagascar is crossed from north to south by one main winding road, from which branches lead to larger towns along the coast.
For the first few dozen kilometers, we drive on nice asphalt. Next to the beautiful asphalt, the poor shacks look very strange.
In the evening, we turn off the main road to find a place to sleep. Of course, this is on a dirt road.
The sun sets a little after 5:30 in the evening. It is often a very beautiful sight.
Darkness then comes very quickly, and with it many different sounds of the local nature. We look for the legendary Southern Cross in the sky.
The next day we return to the asphalt and continue driving north. It took us a while to get used to the fact that north means closer to the equator. North means where the sun is at noon. Southern hemisphere. It's all upside down here.
We often see women going to a river outside the village with their laundry to wash their clothes. Children are usually there, but they don't do the washing.
Just like in Tana, which is located inland and about 1200 meters above sea level, during the day it's slightly about 20 degrees. In the north and in the lowlands by the sea, the temperatures climb over 30 degrees. The sun is very bright, so we arranged to use a part of a local family's house for a snack.
Water. This is a chapter in Madagascar by itself. You can often buy bottled water on the main road, but 1.5 liters costs about $1, so it is extremely expensive for the locals.
When bottled water is not available, you have to watch where the locals go. Often you wouldn't know where the well is. Like here, where instead of a ring there is an old tire lying on the ground.
People usually drink the water untreated, but for us it would mean considerable digestive problems, so we filter the water with a filter bottle. We spent the next night in an old quarry.
Before the asphalt ends, we stop for a snack at a few huts. Children immediately come running, as they do at almost every village we pass.
The boys came with a leaky toy they had been playing with. The interpreter is an older man in a white straw hat who knows about 100 English words.
We don't hesitate for long and rummage through a large bag. We brought a new soccer ball with a pump to Madagascar just for this kind of situation.
At first, the boys don't believe that the ball could be theirs, but eventually their eyes light up and they try it out right away. After an hour, we say goodbye, we have to move on. The asphalt ends and the sandy clay road begins.
It's not pleasant to meet a car. We climb and the view of the dry savanna opens up to us.
The Malagasy people are very nice and hospitable. We buy orange lemonade in the local shop. We are also given chairs and a table so that we can relax for a while.
Shopping in Madagascar, except in Tana, the capital of Nozibe, and Diogo Soares in the north, takes place in markets or at roadside stands.
The choice is very limited. Baguettes after a whole day in the sun are often like breadcrumbs. Bananas, onions, garlic, sweet potatoes, avocados, mangoes, pineapples, cucumbers, tomatoes, and of course rice. All without packaging.
On the way, Dad picks up a hitchhiker. Actually, not even hitchhiker. Her mom carried her on her back, but she couldn't anymore, and the little girl didn't want to walk anymore. So Dad offered to give her a ride to the village.
Our next stop is the village of Mahamasina, where the entrance to the Ankarana National Park is located. Entry is only possible with a guide.
There are many large baobabs in the Ankarana National Park, and many interesting animals live there.
There are 6 species of endemic baobabs in Madagascar. They can grow up to 25 meters tall, and their trunks are so porous that they have no annual rings. People people in areas where the dry season is very severe and there is no other source of water during this period make a hole in the trunk of the baobab and pour water into it during the rainy season. They then get water back from it during the dry season.
The biggest attraction of the national park are the tsingy. Tsingy in Malagasy means hill. Tsingy are pointed and very sharp rock formations that were created many millions of years ago when Madagascar was still part of Gondwana and this area was under the sea.
Of course, we also met chameleons and lemurs.
In the morning, we pumped water. By the way, it was warm and yellow. So, in addition to the filter bottle, we also used disinfectant tablets to be safe, and we set off on another journey north. In Sadioabatu, we turned off the main road to the east. We head to another tsingy. This time the tsingy is rouge.
The road is dusty with typical African rusty color. The 17th hour says that we need to find a place to set up our tent quickly, or we will be looking for it after dark.
In Madagascar, people are always going somewhere. For water, to the fields, to graze the zebu, and also to the markets. Those who want to sell set out in the morning before dawn and return to the village in the evening after sunset. They often have to walk for several hours.
In the morning we continue on, and as time goes on, not only our bikes and bags become more and more orange, but also us.
We drive through the authentic Malagasy countryside where people are dependent only on themselves.
The road is very demanding and it's exhausting in places. We often have to push our bikes in the sun, remove barriers to keep the zebu from running away, and wade through streams.
The red color of the soil is due to the high content of iron, which corrodes, so it is actually rusty clay.
The landscape is beautiful, and the feeling that we are walking in a total backwater on a narrow path somewhere in Africa is amazing.
The Tsingy Rouge Reserve is a canyon modeled by water and wind, in which there are sharp rock protrusions of a pinkish-orange color. Unlike the Tsingy in Ankara, these gradually change and look different every year. Some crumble, others appear from the hillside due to water erosion.
From Tsingy Rouge, it is not far to Diego Suarez, a provincial town in the very north of Madagascar.
We walk around the second largest bay in the world, right after the famous one in Rio, which, like the one in Rio, has a sandbar in the middle, and we reach a beautiful beach.
However, we are interrupted from our lazing by the information that the taxi bros ticket from Diego Suarez to Tana are sold out until September 6. But they should be at school by now.
Therefore, we return to the city the next day, and at the gas station we arrange our transport back to Ankife, from where taxi broses go to Tana quite often.
The ride is again an adventure. There are 19 of us in this car all night.
From Ankife we arrange a taxi bros for the next day, and so we still have the chance to say goodbye to the sea.
We boys want to try out how to ride a pirogue, so that arranges with a fishman, and the pirogue is ours for 2 hours.
The journey to Tana went without any major Malagasy conditions problems. For example, after 20 kilometers, we stopped at the tire service and spent an hour and a half mounting the wheels.
A minor shortcoming was also the number of seats for the 5 of us. Although we paid for 5, there were only 4 left for us. Yes, this is Madagascar.
After all, the journey will only take 30 hours.
In Tana we buy some supplies and set off on the final 300-kilometer circuit into the mountains to climb a 2,000-meter saddle.
Along the way, we observe how a rice field is being cultivated.
And then it happened. We rushed down the hill on surprisingly high-quality asphalt, and we exit a deep rut, and a strong side gust of wind comes. The side wind waves my dad with the cart like a snake.
Everyone knows that something is wrong. Noemi was so scared that she also started shaking and ran away before her father, who managed to break and lay down on the dirt and grass of the road.
He only got a few scratches. Noemi ended up like Pogacar at this year's Tour de France. Legs, elbows, hip, chin scraped, knee swollen, hole in the palm, a bit of shock.
We set up our tent at the nearest possible location and cancel our journey. There are still plenty of curious children around.
At least they help us with the cooking. They are real experts at that. They cook on an open fire several times a day.
The next day we say goodbye to the children, hand them our talisman, and slowly return to Tana. The journey back takes 2 days. Sebastian has a diarrhea and vomits.
On the outskirts of Tana, we watch the locals making bricks and firing them.
We spent 3 nights in Tana. Maximilian also vomits, but he is fit in 20 hours.
Tana has about 3 million people in its agglomeration. No one knows for sure. The lower town is poor, the upper town is rich.
Tana suffers from the typical ailments of a large African city: smoke, dirt, traffic jams, begging people, power and water outages, poorly functioning civic systems.
We look around the historic part of the city, the cathedral and the Queen's Palace, the Roa.
What we haven't mentioned yet are the local fads. There are various rules and prohibitions. Fads vary from region to region, village to village, and even family to family. For example, you must always buy eggs in pairs. In addition to the usual things, you cannot take pigs, ghosts, and onions into Queen's Palace. You must step out of the building where the monarchs and queens were exhibited after they died with your left foot. The guide watches over this.
There is a pretty nice exhibition about Madagascar and its history in the palace.
On Sundays, we choose some children and give them alms. They don't just beg, but at least they sing.
Oh, and the man really wanted to sell us a painting. Pretty nice, but we wouldn't put it on the plane.
On the penultimate day, we headed back to our first accommodation in Iwato near the airport.
We put our bikes in boxes and our luggage in boxes of bananas. We arranged with the guys who carried water canisters to take the boxes to the airport for us and said goodbye to Madagascar.
What can we say in conclusion? We got to know a completely different country, a different culture, and from our point of view, enormous poverty.
But we also learned that to be happy you don't need wealth, a house, a car, or beautiful clothes. We met the smiliest children and people in small villages where people only have what they grow and make themselves. Their time is determined by the sunrise and sunset. Hopefully they will last for many more decades.
So Sally Madagascar, we will remember you very fondly.